the strike, and the dip is 32 degrees.
Oh, man. I was off at 10 degrees. Does 32 degrees look reasonable?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ozzy, go get
Okay. Again, we are in the Arbuckle Mountains because these rocks are deformed. They're folded, they're faulted. If we were to have a geologic map and try and map the Devil's Kitchen conglomerate, we would see that it is folded. Okay, something about the source terrain. Two things we might want to know about the source, where this came from. What direction is it? And what was it made of? How would we tell what direction these... Okay, and let me back up just a bit. These are Pennsylvania rocks. These are much, much younger than our Woodford Shale. So we're talking about 320 million years, something like that. Much younger. There were rivers flowing back here in that time. Pretty fast moving rivers. There were uplifts nearby. How would we tell what direction the uplift was? How could we tell what direction the creek was flowing? The stream was flowing away. One thing we could do is look at the Devil's Kitchen, and wherever the clasts start getting bigger, you're getting closer to the source. Other things we could use are like cross bedding. You might remember from your sedimentology course something called cross bedding, and I think there's some examples of it. Rick discovered some over there. How would we tell what the source was made of? In other words, we got some hills somewhere in some direction that we've tried to figure out, but we want to know what those hills are made of. How would we do that? Yeah, if we look at what makes up all the pebbles, we could make a pretty good guess that that is what was eroding from the highlands. It turns out that in Pennsylvania time, in this part of the mountain range, we had something called the Ardmore Basin. But throughout the formation of the Ardmore Basin, we had little pop-up structures that would periodically come up and erode down. Then another one would come up and erode down. And throughout something like 50 or 60 million years, these little mountain ranges, they're pretty small, would pop up, erode down, pop up, erode down. Then one over here would pop up, erode down. So throughout the Ardmore Basin, we have a number of conglomerate units that appear to have come from different places that are made of different compositions. This is mostly chert. Most of the rocks in here are chert. When you talk about the tectonics of the Arbuckle Mountains, and the tectonics of the Arbuckle Mountains are closely connected with the tectonics of the adjacent Ardmore Basin, you have to explain why over 50 million years an area would come up, erode down, an area would come up and erode down, and an area would come, just bing, 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 all for about 50 million years. Okay, I said this was deposited in a river system, pretty rapidly flowing. What else, to really nail down a river, what else might we look for in an outcrop? I'm not talking about we're going to look for the banks of the river. What else might you find in a river that you would not find, say, in a marine sandstone?
Smoothing of stones.
Sand?
Smoothing of the stones.
Smooth rounding? Rounding of the stones, yeah. These are pretty angular because we're so close to the source. What else do you find in a river system that you do not find, rarely find on a beach sand, rarely find in a marine environment?
Look up above his head.
Yeah, the sorting, well sorted above.
Well, fine grained. You might notice down here, very conglomeratic. But as you go up into younger beds, it gets fine grained. Nice sandstone up there. A coarse to fine sequence is typical of a channel environment. Very commonly, and you see this on well logs, very coarse bottom, fining upwards. So this sequence right here might indicate some sort of channel sequence. Good. What else might we look for to really nail down that this is terrestrial versus marine?
Maybe the type of
Look up above his head. Look
Louder,
at the big.
Ashley, louder. Shh, shh, shh. She has it.
the type of fossils that
Loud.
you
I
would,
don't think they can hear you.
the type of fossils that you would be finding in these
Fossils.
versus marine.
So you say terrestrial fossils
Yes.
would be different from marine fossils.
Exactly.
What if you were looking for a terrestrial fossil? What kind? What would you look for?
Leaves.
Leaves or logs? Awesome. I think there was we gave an A out last weekend to the person who could find a log, petrified log, right above me. I mean, we were just lying. We're not giving an A anyway. But all right. Have a look. Can you find any logs? You don't find logs in a marine environment. Can you find any logs in that outcrop? Go have a look. Go ahead. Just don't drop any rocks on anybody's head.